Well, hello to everyone out there who has decided to watch this video. I thank you very much for your support, and we are going to enjoy this flight. Now we're flying from Amsterdam Airport to Innsbruck Airport into runway 8. So Innsbruck is a very, very interesting approach on to runway 8, and you will see why later if you watch part 2. I'm probably going to break this into a two-parter, because it is very hard to, keep it in one video, and it's pretty long, especially considering takeoff takes about half an hour, 45 minutes depending. So instead of me rambling on, I'm actually going to begin straight away. Just need to get my camera view here on where I want it. Now, I am going to say this, and I'm going to say it now. It's very hard to go through the checklist and to talk at the same time and remember what you're doing, so I may have a little trouble with that. Okay, just checking if you can't test the recorder while you're in this mode. So I believe I need to go all on. Oh, except that one. That one needs to stay off for now. And you need to be okay. Okay, just checking batteries at the perfect voltage. Standby power. Actually, I'm going to get you to stay on APU gen, because I'm flicking the switch and I'm starting the APU. While the APU starts, we'll go through our checklist. Parking brake, set. Door 1, open. The walkway to board the airplane, enabled. Battery covered it on. DC on bat. DC voltmeter is at 27. 28's close enough. AC voltmeter does not need to be on standby, it needs to be on APU. Master caution, don't need to worry about yet. Hydraulic pumps are all off. Fuel pumps are all off except the aft number 1. Interior lights are not needed. Cabin utility power is checked and on. Fuel pump for the APU is on. Ground power or APU is on. Voltmeter set to APU, which it is. The APU gen started, so we're going to put on the APU gen switches. Emergency lights now can be armed and covered, which is now checked. Position light steady, check. Wheel well lights on, check. Logo lights on, check. Wing lights on, check. Master caution, disengage, check. Seatbelt signs are on auto, check. I may as well turn my chime on while I'm there. It's not on the part of the checklist, but you can turn it on. Recirculation fans are on auto. Left and right packs need to be on auto also. Auto. Check the autopilot's off, which it is. Speed brake is down. It's checked. Oh, it's gone into edit mode. Sorry, I'm doing my checklist on an iPad, and I'm using just a free downloadable checklist, and I've typed them all in, and it's sometimes a pain in the ass to get. Cockpit is voice recorder is checked. Now, I have noticed it says cockpit. It's no longer called a cockpit. It's actually called a flight deck. So, yeah, that's incorrect. But, oh well. The engine fire test. Yeah, this is a fun test. And that was the engine. And that's the other one. May as well do the cargo while we're here. So that was the cargo. That's checked. Now I'm just going through the checklists here real quick. I'm gonna align the IRS. It says test too, so I may as well test it. Everything works. Take it back. Done. Fuel pump 1 aft on. APU gen started. APU gen and right and left switch are on. Master cautions off. Communication frequency. Now I'm not going to worry about communication frequency due to the fact that autopilot doesn't work well when you have an organized flight plan. So I am not worrying about that at all. Now I'm just going to put in a random squawk code, just as long as it's not 7700 or 7600, because 7600 is for radio communications, and so if you have problems communicating, you squawk that, and 77 is a general emergency. So just make sure it's not that. Altimeter pressure set, or set pressure, that was backwards. I'm actually going to cheat here. Weather config conditions in current conditions at aircraft position. Okay, so it's got my position, and its QNH is 1013, and that is set at 1013. All good there. We don't need to worry about that. So altimeter is set. Altitude on the autopilot. May as well set a few other parameters too. We're cleared to 6,000 feet at the start. And we're on runway 24. I'm not sure if it's exactly 24 on the nose, but runway 24. So we put the heading to 24. 24. Elevator trim I cannot set yet, because we need to set the FMC, the flight management computer. Now, this is where things get fun. I'm gonna be getting all the data I need off the manual that I have right here, and it's not delete, it's clear. Then you go to clear delete. I'm getting it off a manual that I have right next to me on this tutorial, because this is actually a tutorial that comes with the plane. Now you're not gonna let me put that in, are you? Nope, because you want this first, don't you? So yeah, I gotta put the initial airport in first, and then I have to put in the destination. And the runway is 24. That's all good. Now, I have to get up the menu, because I do have to go into, it's changed, hasn't it? Yeah, it's gone back. I don't know why the manual keeps doing that. I've got to scroll up on the manual, but while we're waiting, I need to go into departure and approach. Now I've scrolled too far up. There we are. So departure. We're departing EHAM. Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, which is the way of saying those letters. Just concentrating here. Oh, it's not that one. Did I go past it? Damn, there's a lot of these. And there's one more. There we are. Is that one we want? There's a lot of them. Didn't realise how many there was. That's all good. So now we have to enter in the airways, and I have never really used airways before, so this is pretty brand new to me. I'm used to using waypoints. I think airways isn't as you know, too much different. 7:41. So I'm probably gonna go quiet here as I enter these in, because do need to really concentrate on this part, because if you stuff it up, there's no real way of resetting the FMC. So 7:29. Not that I know of. There probably is. I just don't know it. 7:29. Then we need to go to the next page, where it's T104. Then again, oh, actually no, it's UM. Nearly made a mistake there. And it's 867. Which makes it nice and easy. Don't have to move my fingers too far. Because with the things further away, I do struggle to hit the keys properly. And then I think, what do we enter? I'm just trying to look. I think it's, yeah, it's Tango, Uniform, Lima, Sierra, India. And just paste that in there and it's happy. Then we go approach into LOWI. Now there's something interesting. The approaches, or the approach I want in there, isn't actually in there. I'm just going to double check, but go into departure arrival, then press the next page and select the 23A star, which I have, but it's not there. It just says LOC, or LOC, lock. There's no LLZ 26 approach. And for the next page, it's just 26. Yeah, that's wrong. I need to reselect that. I think you can delete. No, so I have to go back and hit departure. Oh, I can delete that. That's what I'll do. Delete. Oh, invalid delete. Okay, because you need to be pasted into there. Now I can delete you, right? No, it doesn't like that. Okay. Do I activate and then delete? Oh, well, if it doesn't do it, no, it won't. So, I need to hit that. That. Thank you. RTT. Execute. No, I just need to activate it. And I believe all I have to do is select that. Just double checking, missed approach, blah blah blah. Execute. Missed approach, direct. All I really need to worry about is the approach in. So if I hit legs, CL, FL, yep. Alright, just double checking everything, because if the approach is in there, that's all good, and I don't really need to worry about, because I'm not landing on runway 26, I'm actually landing on runway 8. So I don't really need to worry about too much there, because I will be disconnecting autopilot and not worrying about that at all. So I'm going to put that in because it's below. I'm going to execute that. And then there was one more thing I had to do, and I think it was /9500. because you don't need to be above 9500, you just need to be on 9500, because you get very close to the mountains. It gets very, very scary. Okay, so back to the checklist. Just getting ready here, because I will need the checklist in a minute, because I am setting up the airplane. Reserves, that. Now I can go 3, 9, 1, 2, 3. You can put FL and then just abbreviate it to that, like it just did then. But I'd rather do it that way because it is easier. We don't need a D-rated takeoff. Flaps are going to be 5 on takeoff. Oops. And do I need to paste them in? Yes, because I've done the approach and all of that fun stuff. Okay. So we've done that. Now I need to look at, center of gravity, need to double click that. So we're at 444. That's very interesting. So set the trim to 444. Or as close as you can get to 444, which is 4.45. Elevator trim is set. I've noticed that's wobbling a little. I'm gonna just do that to stop it, because my yoke wasn't set correctly. We'll just keep pretending that the passengers are boarding. Oh, I can't go through systems yet because I haven't aligned IRSs. Now it's that and that, and now they should be aligned, right? Hey, aligned. Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick test here. Gonna let you listen to this, because it is a terrain test and it's the long version.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Sink rate. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps. Too low. Terrain. Glide slope. Bank angle. Bank angle. Minimums. 500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. 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 Pull up.
And there you are, that's the end of that test right there. Just going to turn these lights on just a dim. Now you probably didn't see it, but I made sure the thrust was in idle. And I'm now going to just pretend, because no one, there's no real software that I have installed to simulate everyone boarding. I'm just going to pretend that everyone has boarded. I'm going to shut the door. And I'm going to make sure that thing's disappearing, which it is. It's slowly going back. Just do a few other checks. Now, just double checking everything, making sure it works. That should, whoa, okay, I've clicked yoke, haven't I? Mouse yoke, no thanks, I've got a yoke. Alright, I'm gonna turn all the fuel pumps on. Go through a few other things. Go through a few other things, actually. That's how it's said. My English is so good today. Just double checking everything, and it seems all good. Let's go through the checklist. The boarding arm, I'm gonna call it, is connected. Doors are shut. Gen bus trans switch is auto checked. Checked auto uncovered, which it is. Fuel pumps are on with no cross feed check. Hydraulic pumps are not all on. And this is why we have checklists. All on. Anti-collision light needs to go on. Packs left and right off. I believe that is wrong. I think they need to be both on auto. They do need to be on auto. Thrust idle and fuel cut off. Fuel cut off. I kind of knew that there was something wrong with the checklist. It should be the recirculation fans that go off. Because they are the things. And then that should be the auto. No, it should. Oh no, yeah, it's auto. Actually no, because we start left. No, it's the right pack goes off. It's only one pack goes off. That's right. Okay. Sorry about that. I knew there was something wrong with the checklist that I have here. Okay. I'm a little bit distracted now. Sorry about that, guys. Just having a bit of issues. Now, before we push back, I'm going to do a TCAS test. Just briefly. Doesn't take too long.
TCAS test passed.
Okay, the TCAS test and passed, which is what we want, and my voice has now gone a bit funny. I'm gonna have this last bit of water I have here. Alright, in order to push back, we're gonna need to remove the wheel chocks, which is under menu, actions, ground connections, wheel chocks, return. Gonna hit the legs page. And now I'm gonna hit Shift P. Duct pressure's 30, engine ignition left. So we're gonna start the left on ground. And the engine start switch left on ground. So now we're gonna wait for it to climb. Wait for that to climb to 20. And then as soon as that climbs to 20, we open up the fuel. Now we're going to wait for it to actually climb. Now with the pushback in this, there's no way of actually steering the plane while starting the engine, so I'm just going to push back a little further on the line and then just line up with it. Which is now, that was actually very short. Shift P. And that's engine 1 started. Gonna click that into continuous, just in case, for any bird strikes. Then we're gonna do the left. Which means that's auto, that's off. Then we begin start on the right engine, so ground, ignition's on. Once again, waiting for this to climb up to 20. $17, $18, $19, $20. Here we are. Make sure everything's in there all clear, nothing's red. In the red. Oil pressure's good, temperature's good, vibration's good. Hydraulic pressure is good. The temperature is also good. And we have enough fuel, hopefully. Shouldn't be a long flight. Okay. And everything looks good there. Make sure that's on continuous as well. Now, briefly, I'm going to do a few things here. We need to flick both the generators for the engines on. APU can go off. It's now on either Gen 1 or Gen 2, but we need on. APU's not running, so that's done. A few other bits and pieces. Pack on auto. Recirculation fans back on. Just going through this stuff. Okay, APU's off. APU bleeds off. Pack left on. Pack right on. Did forget the pitot heat, which is now on, and window heat, which now needs to go on. Engine anti-ice. Now that's a good question. What's the temperature? 13. It's not required. Wing anti-ice is of course not required. Your damper needs to go on. Flaps. 1, 2, 5. Auto brake on RTO. Taxi lights on, along with runway turn-off lights. TCAS has been tested, and we now need to turn TCAS on. There we are. We are ready for taxi. Checklist complete. Okay. Let's begin. Now for runway 24, where are we? I have no idea where we are. I think runway 24 is that way. Or that way. We need to go that way. That's where runway 24 is. Okay. So just add a little bit of power. Not too much. It's just there's traffic already. That's great. Wait, that's probably way too much power. That is way too much power. 25 is way too much power. We'll bring it back. This is going to be a great taxi too. It's not easy to taxi, let's just say. I have an idea of where runway 24 is now. While we're taxiing, autopilot is set. We need to arm the spoiler. Spoiler's armed, green light. Flaps, check. Set, green light. Auto brakes is set, checked, and flight directors are not on. Flight director. Flight director. Very slow taxi. Now I think going that way is onto the runway, but also going that way is onto the runway. So we're gonna skip this one. We need all the runway we can get. Once again, there's the traffic. just add a little more thrust into the mixture. This is a very good taxi speed, actually. Only 4 knots on the ground speed, so not too bad. Now everything should get a little more relaxed now that we're getting close to the runway. Pretty sure that says runway 24 right ahead. You guys probably can't see that, but 3 knots. We're slowing down a little. Just gonna add a little more thrust. You don't need much to get this plane going. It really is very, very easy to roll on the ground. Although it is still only traveling at 3 knots. Gonna add a little more. There we are. I don't want to rush anyway, because we're very close to approaching the runway. Got to stop at that line right there. Now I'm going to do a few things, like check them on, they can stay on, taxi lights on. Gonna move that back up. Transponder, I believe, is on. Alright, landing lights are on, runway turn-off lights are on, taxi lights are off. Position light, steady and strobe. Transponder, of course, is still on. And now I have permission, I'm going to pretend I have permission to taxi and position hold on runway. Alright. Oh look, someone's decided to be annoying. Now once again, I'm not using ATC, so I don't have right of way or permission. But I'm just going to go straight through this plane anyway. I know it doesn't make for a good video, but he's going to go straight through me anyway. Hello. Like, I don't exist or anything like that. The AI don't believe I exist until now, until I'm inside of him. So that's very interesting. But yeah, sorry about that. I thought that might happen. Once again, I'm not using ATC due to the flight plan, so they don't know where to put me or how I should get to the runway, so I'm just sort of going through.
24.
Okay, I know this is runway 24 now.
On runway 24.
Runway 24. Oop, that was a crap lineup. And I am on kind of the wrong heading. It's runway, it's not runway, it's runway 24, but the heading's 38. That's not too bad. The weather does look pretty bad, so I'm gonna put weather radar on. Just double check. Okay, just checking everything's all good. It reckons I'm got the wrong pressure, but okay. Well, it's sitting at 0, so alright. I'm ready for takeoff. Parking brake on. Gonna hit about 40%. I forgot about auto throttle. That was not on the checklist. And config takeoff warning. It's because of the speed brake. I don't know why, but it doesn't like having the speed brake armed. I don't know if that's a glitch or if the checklist is wrong, because it did ask me to arm the speed brake.
V1.
V1.
Rotate. V2.
Well, the plane did a kind of a weird thing there. It's very nice though. It was a very nice takeoff. Okay, so I'm going to put in the gear now, as we have a positive rate of climb. Slowly bring the flaps up. RTO is no longer needed, and flaps are no longer needed. I really can't see that well. Though it doesn't look like there's any rain around, so we might be alright. I'm going to put the autopilot on, VNav and LNav, and we're set to climb. Why I do that, auto brake is set to off. Spoiler, has been disarmed. And the rest, I don't really need to worry about until I climb to a bit higher. So the rest is 10,000 feet and above. There's the 6,000 feet warning. I'm going to pretend that I have clearance to flight level 390 now. 390. There we are. So just very low cloud cover. There seems to be no rain. And there's airport down there. I believe that's the runway we took off from. And that's more of the airport there. I believe that's the runway we took off from. I'm not 100% sure. Or it might have been that one. I think that was that one down there. I don't think. Yeah, it seems like that one on the angle pointing that way. That one has no association with that airport at all. So very weird takeoff, but it could have been worse. I'll put it that way. The plane sort of went nose down when it was taking off. But that's probably because the trim was set nicely. So once again with this checklist, I've never used the checklist before. So it was very interesting to see how it would behave. There we go. I think I didn't select the altitude quick enough. It is very windy actually. We've got a tailwind of 23 knots. Very windy takeoff and climb. So we should reach top of descent very shortly. I'm not going to worry about any higher. I'm not going to worry about the full climb and bother recording that. Just going to bother recording about 10,000 feet, and that's pretty much it. Just no point in doing much more. So everything seems pretty good. It's a bit turbulent, I'll give it that. Nothing completely out of the ordinary for me to see, so quite happy. The approach is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to have you guys there. Okay, we've just reached 10,000 feet. So, landing lights off, runway turn-off lights off. The engines don't need to be on continuous anymore. And standard. That's pretty much all we had to do. I'm just going to double check. What's our temperature? 9 degrees. Okay, may as well put anti-icing on as well. So, landing lights off. Runway turn-off lights off, wheel well lights off, window heat off, anti-ice off, wing anti-ice off, and I turn the set to STB. Now I didn't turn the wheel well lights off, so I need to do that now. And there we are. Everything's looking pretty good. So now all I have to do is sit here and wait for the climb and cruise and prepare for descent. And that will be in part 2 of this video, as it needs to be a two-parter. Thank you for watching for the takeoff.